The regular season is back in full swing, and to close out the weekend, we're in Portland, where the top two teams in the standings face off. North Carolina's Brittany Ratcliffe is coming off a stellar Challenge Cup with 3 goals, while Tyler Lucy hopes to continue her good form facing her old club. For Portland, Christine Sinclair is back and will lead the line, while it's a milestone night for Megan Klingenberg. It's 1 versus 2, the Thorns and the Courage, next. Ally is proud to present the NWSL on CBS Sports this evening from Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. The Portland Thorns host the North Carolina Courage. Tonight's game brought to you by CarMax. With the former Penn State product Anna Whitty, I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us. The CarMax NWSL standing shows these two teams, the top 2 in the league, of course, plenty on 25 points. It is tight around that playoff line. But looking at some players to watch, we'll start with North Carolina. The captain, the heart of this midfield, Denise O'Sullivan, is back.
Midfielder Denise O'Sullivan said when she was coming back from the World Cup, she feels like she can bring that leadership experience into the Courage. She brings a calmness into the midfield, and she's always in the right spot at the right time. She can create, but also watch for how the Courage uses her as a decoy with Narumi in the midfield as well.
And on the other side for the Portland Thorns, 3 goals in the Challenge Cup for Morgan Weaver.
Forward Morgan Weaver, without Sophia Smith, will play a really big role in this Portland Thorns attack. Portland wants to get her high and wide. She's quick, and she has a really good connection with Klingenberg on that back line. Watch for her looking to receive balls inside on top of the 18, and she's going to be looking for those short-range shots. She's got 3rd most shots in the league right now. She can shoot from nearly anywhere.
We'll see if she can provide the scoring tonight for the Thorns at home in front of their home crowd. We'll be back with this Ally NWSL matchup between the Thorns and the Courage right here on CBS Sports. Providence Park, Portland, Oregon. It is the Portland Thorns playing host to the North Carolina Courage. Final game of the weekend here in the NWSL, and we have a great one for you tonight. And of course, in goal tonight for North Carolina, Casey Murphy is back after her time with the U.S. Women's National Team. at the World Cup, leading the NWSL with 7 shutouts, second in goals against average. And of course, she is between the sticks tonight for Sean Nahas's Courage.
North Carolina Courage going with a 4-3-3. Kiki Pickett starting in that outside back position for Emily Fox, and Narumi and O'Sullivan in that 6 role, allowing Victoria Pickett to play in a 10. Tess Bodie will drop a little bit more into the midfield, and Ratcliffe and Lucy will look to go down the flanks for this Courage attack.
And of course, in goal for the Portland Thorns, it is the #1, Bella Bixby. It was mostly Shelby Hogan during that Challenge Cup, but Bixby gets the spot in goal again tonight for the Thorns as they return to the regular season. This is the 11 tonight for Mike Norris.
Bixby playing behind Hubley and Mingus in that center back role. Kuika and Klingenberg as the outside backs for the Thorns tonight. Rodriguez getting her first start since May, with Moultrie and Sam Coffey sitting in that 6 role. Sinclair starting up top for Sophia Smith, and Morgan Weaver will continue to go down that flank, but also cutting inside, helping out Sinclair centrally.
Well, for the Portland Thorns, as you take a look there at Mike Norris, didn't quite accomplish their goal they wanted to in the Challenge Cup, but he said the last game out against OL Reign, that 0-0 draw, happy with the clean sheet. As for Sean Nahas, they get to sweat it out a little bit longer. Didn't get the job done on the night, but got the job done as a whole in the Challenge Cup. As we take a look at our head referee tonight, Matt Thompson will be the man in the middle. Luis Guardia will be tonight's VAR, should it be needed. We have a great crowd, as always, here at Providence Park. And we are just about set for first kick. Now, something to note coming into tonight is the air quality. It is in kind of that tough zone, if you will, so we will have a couple of hydration breaks because of that. It is up near 1:30 as we get set for first kick here tonight. North Carolina in white, Portland in black as we get this one underway. It is 1 versus 2 in the NWSL standings, and it is underway tonight from Providence Park. Both these teams eager to get back into the regular season. Of course, for North Carolina, able to advance on to the semifinals of the Challenge Cup in a few weeks. As for Portland, they will have that week off as they were not able to. It was OL Reign taking home that top spot in the Challenge Cup, but coming back into the regular season, these two teams, it's full steam ahead now until the playoffs come October.
Both teams coming off of a loss in their last regular season game. For North Carolina, looking to possess and continue to connect now that they have Denise O'Sullivan back in that role centrally, allowing Narumi to step up the pitch a little bit higher. And for Portland, they're giving opportunities to new players who've shined really brightly in Challenge Cup. Hannah Petford playing out wide.
And here's Kuika getting forward. Kuika's cross. It's headed into the air. It's still loose in the box. Klingenberg couldn't get onto it. It's cleared away. As far as Rocky Rodriguez, here's Sinclair, going to return it. Rodriguez, the centering feed, Bedford was there. It's loose and Murphy covers it up. The Thorns starting on the front foot.
Pickett in the perfect spot to get in front of Bedford before she can get her foot on the ball. Well done for Rodriguez to dribble that ball inside the 18 to confuse this North Carolina team who's not in the right position defensively, but at the last second, Pickett just has to get that right foot on the ball to get it out of the space of Bedford.
Well, you mentioned North Carolina, they like to be on the ball. Top average possession in the NWSL, a shade under 60% per game. Portland, though, 3rd in that spot, and we were talking really with both coaches. They said, we both want to be on the ball, so something has to give tonight.
The last time these two teams met, it was a 3-3 draw, and the possession was fairly equal. Portland was able to live on the ball and really dribble out North Carolina's back line with their front 5. North Carolina's going to have to make sure centrally they're keeping the ball away from Sam Coffey, not allowing Olivia Moultrie to dribble out of problem areas for this Thorns side, and trying to stay really compact with their center backs.
That loss to Angel City for North Carolina last time out in the regular season was the first time losing when they scored first. The only other time they didn't get the full 3 points was also that 3-3 draw earlier this season against the Thorns. And here they come forward again. Moultrie, bit of a heavy touch. This will run through for Casey Murphy. And if you remember back to that 3-3 draw earlier this season, it was an own goal in the opening minute that got North Carolina on the board first, and it's pretty much back and forth from there.
Victoria Pickett came to North Carolina, and that was her first goal for this North Carolina side. Now she's a little bit more entwined in how North Carolina wants to play. She loves to dribble out of backline as well. So watch when Victoria Pickett does pick up the ball, Bodie might drop off centrally and open up that space for Pickett to continue to go.
At Megan Klingenberg, her 150th appearance in the regular season, the 24th player to reach that mark. It's been a staple in this lineup all season long for the Portland Thorns as they look to possess here in the early going.
Klingenberg providing that leadership to this Portland Thorns backline. Without Becky Sauerbrunn, she's bringing that calmness and that veteran experience to this Portland Thorns backline, with Mingus and Hubley and Kuika being stable and having consistent minutes. But Klingenberg has the experience. She's a very rather vocal outside back, and she'll also get forward to help the Thorns attack as well. She is local to Portland too, though.
Oh, I think she's becoming, and I think Christine Sinclair's also been local to Portland for quite some time, of course, with this club since 2013. At least 5 goals in all but 1 of 9 regular seasons. She has 3 goals so far this season. A Burnaby, British Columbia native. Maybe playing in a bit of a different role tonight. We'll see how that actually shakes out as this game gets going, but the formation we had her at the 9, which hasn't necessarily been her spot as of late.
Sinclair normally plays in the midfield with Coffey and Crystal Dunn, being able to build out of that, and then she finds her opportunities to get into the attack. Starting in that true 9 role, she's going to still be a facilitator and still looking for that opportunity to hold the play up and allow players like Weaver and Betfort to get in behind, almost like a false 9. And also that opens up the space for Rodriguez and Moultrie too.
The 3rd all-time leading goal scorer in this league. 62 times she's found the back of the net. Second ball picked up, is sent ahead. Weaver's chasing after it. Morgan Weaver. It's deflected. Kiki Pickett a long run for it. Betfort trying to track it down. Trickle out of play. It's a throw-in for Portland.
Last second, it was Ryan Williams able to get a touch on the ball. She doesn't initially able to clear that ball and get herself in a good spot, but at the end of the day, she gets it away from Weaver.
Bouncing in for Moultrie, gets this into the middle. The header's loose, and then the shot comes on from Weaver, but Murphy, it was right at her, and she made the stop.
Weaver hitting that ball one time as that ball drops inside the 18. Watch as Williams already has her right arm up on Weaver, trying to make that contact, knowing that's going to be the option. And at the last second, Weaver just doesn't have any option to hit it side netting. That 1v1 battle between Weaver and Ryan Williams is something to keep your eye on, because Williams has been a massive role in that outside back role. Not only can she do the 1v1 defensive work, but she also wants to get forward. So Weaver's going to keep Williams really honest on that back line.
Weaver has found a lot of her success in the Challenge Cup. A team-high 6 Challenge Cup goals. If you remember back to that final in 2021 against Gotham, she scored the game-winning penalty in that game as well. 3 goals in this year's Challenge Cup, but this season, in the regular season, she has 4 goals to go along with 3 assists. Been a very key part to that Portland attack.
Weaver continues to develop in this Thorns attack. She's carried on an even bigger role, has started every single game this season in the wide areas. She's that number that the Thorns are trying to build out of in the attack, whether she's crossing the ball in looking for someone or trying to convert inside the 18. She has all the tangibles to do both in the attack for the Thorns.
One more note on the air quality. It's because of the wildfires in the Pacific Northwest, many of them in Washington and Canada, and including here in Oregon. And that's why we will have a few hydration breaks as this game continues on. Here's Kiki Pickett. Nia Berkeley. Of course, a big miss tonight. Caroline not with the team as of now. Took her a little bit of time getting back from the World Cup, but Jeanne Nejas saying didn't want to take any risks, and especially with the long travel this week for not only Caroline, but many of the players that have been brought into this club. A couple of new Japanese signings, a young American and Riley Jackson as well, not on the bench tonight. So, and then of course the two Denmark internationals, Mila Geil, Rike Madsen, also not with the team here tonight. But here's Ratcliffe firing this across. Lucy in front. Not able to put that on target as it's out of play.
Bodie and Pickett switching positions. Bodie picking up the ball more defensively, and that allows Pickett to continue to go. Ratcliffe looking for that ball coming inside. Lucy just not able to convert. Really good teamwork by this North Carolina side and the first opportunity in the attack.
Lucy, 2017 to 2021 with the Portland Thorns. 42 appearances, 5 goals. She already has 4 goals this year. Interesting note on those 4 goals, they've all come in 1-0 wins. So she gets on the board.
Tyler Lucy's been a big piece of this Courage side. She brings a different look because she wants to be direct and go forward. Didn't have a massive role when she was in Portland, but Lucy has continued to grow even in her time in Angel City last year. Now with North Carolina, one of the top teams in the league. Just a big piece in the attack, and she comes up massive when they need her.
Sullivan not quite able to keep it, and Portland right back onto it. Here's Hubley. Hubley stepping forward. It was a bit of a heavy touch. Now has to slow down Tyler Lucy as Klingenberg gets back onto it. Bodie putting pressure on Menges. Coffey not quite able to keep it, but moves it along. Klingenberg. There's Weaver ahead for Betfort. Goes down by Kiki Pickett, who goes down, and it's cleared away.
Well done by Pickett to track back defensively and continue to move Betfort into a wide area. Betfort had that seam down the middle of the pitch. Really lucky at the end because Pickett's left arm did come over the shoulder of Betfort in the box.
Still nothing in front of goal for the North Carolina Courage. 2 shots, one of them on target for the Thorns thus far.
Thorns doing a good job of keeping possession and waiting for the right moment to find their midfield. Even if it isn't Sam Coffey picking up and finding the moment, they're waiting and allowing North Carolina to get in the wrong defensive positions.
Williams there to meet Morgan Weaver. Weaver goes to ground. North Carolina gets it out initially as far as Rocky Rodriguez. Moultrie down the line. Klingenberg cuts it back. The return ball for Klingenberg, but this will run out of play. Well, a moment ago, Kiki Pickett, big defensive player for North Carolina.
Betfort driving the ball in centrally, and at the last second, Pickett's able to cut herself inside. Rather doesn't get her arm over the shoulder of Betfort, but gets herself in front of the ball so Betfort doesn't have an opportunity on frame. Pickett's going to have a massive role on this North Carolina back line because the wide areas is where the Thorns want to go.
7th start of the season for Kiki Pickett, and filling in that left back spot that is normally Emily Fox's role. She played nearly every minute in Australia and New Zealand with the U.S. women's national team. Getting a little bit longer of a break before she gets back at it.
North Carolina's been able to adapt without their World Cup players in the attack. Players like Ratcliffe and Lucy have worked really well together to get goals and get results in the Challenge Cup. And it's because Nejas has implemented such a specific style of play that this far into the season, 16 matches in, this team figured out how they want to play together and who fits well into what role, and it's turning into a complete season for this Courage side.
We're seeing the championships scroll by for both of these teams. More than half of the championships in NWSL history between these two clubs. Of course, North Carolina 2018, 2019, Portland 2013, 2017, and of course the reigning champs from last year. And both of these clubs with a Challenge Cup title as well. Whatever's on offer, these two teams will be amongst it, as they are again this season.
Portland and North Carolina has always been a fun rivalry in the NWSL, and the rivalry really has evolved. North Carolina is not as direct as they used to be, and they've really changed their style of play.
It's turned over. Going down in the box is Pickett, and the referee points to the spot. Hubley will plead her case, but Matt Thompson is awarded a penalty to the North Carolina Courage.
Portland not taking care of the ball in possession and getting a little too lax when they're on the ball, switching the point of attack. Pickett does a great job of noticing that that ball being passed back to Hubley is an awkward touch. Watch as Pickett picks it up, and Hubley, that last-ditch effort with her right leg should have been her left leg because it would have been a clean tackle on the ball. Watch as Hubley's right leg gets the right foot of Pickett, and that's a foul inside the box for North Carolina.
It's the third penalty awarded to North Carolina. It is being checked by VAR. Luis Guardia, whether this foul was inside or outside of the box.
From the initial play, looks like that foul was inside the box. Hubley slides in as soon as she's crossing over that 18-yard box. Watch as Hubley dispossesses it to Pickett, and Hubley makes that contact inside the box, but the initial slide is just outside.
Well, the referee is going to the pitch side monitor. He will have a look at this. It'll be interesting whether the initial contact maybe started just outside the box. And it could also be being checked for a possible red card as well. This could be denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. See Emily Menges there in the frame. A lot to consider here, whether the foul was in or outside of the box, and then from there, I guess you can go on and see whether it's a red card after that.
Hubley makes her initial tackle outside of the 18, but the contact happens inside of the 18. It's the last defender as well. The ball does cross over the line, but it's where does Hubley make that initial contact with Pickett?
So this could be a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity and then not a penalty.
Right.
They could bring this back for a free kick as well. So a lot to consider for Matt Thompson and Luis Guardia here.
Watch as Hubley gets inside of Pickett, but as soon as she gets down, the right leg does make contact right on the line. It's very, very tight.
You are watching exactly what the referee, Matt Thompson, is watching on the pitch side monitor as well. Long look at this as well.
It looks like contact as soon as Pickett crosses inside the box. Hubley makes that contact. It's very tight, but it certainly is just over that line. The question is where is the referee gonna decide where the contact was made, depending on the picture and what angle?
It looks like Matt Thompson has his decision. We'll see what he comes up with. The referee's going to his pocket, and this is going to be a straight red card. Denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Kelly Hubley is sent off. And now for the second part of this, I think he's saying it's a free kick just outside the area, so no penalty, and a red card goes to Portland. Wow, a lot to take in there.
Hubley makes the contact outside of the 18, but it's still the last defender, and denial of the goal-scoring opportunity, so the free kick gets awarded, but now Portland is down one of their center backs. Hubley, if she had used that left leg, would have been able to get contact on the ball, clear that one out, but because she used the right leg, it's a little bit harder to make clean contact with the ball and not the player.
It's not just Kelly Hubley's first straight red card. It is her first red card ever in the NWSL. That's in all competitions. So she will head to the locker room early, and now a great opportunity just outside the area for North Carolina to try to take a lead here. Lucy and Narumi stand around this. Lucy has scored 5 of her 11 NWSL goals in this stadium. She add another to her tally. This is Tyler Lucy! Did it go over the line? A big decision here. It hit off the crossbar and stayed out. What a rip there from Lucy.
Lucy's so unlucky. Watch as she hits this ball. It goes in the back of the net. It bounced right in the back of the net. The turf beads make it so obvious. Watch as this ball drops, and the contact it makes with the ball, rather with the ground, is in the goal.
Referee's already going back to the pitch side monitor. Boy, NWSL After Dark in full effect here. I think it's pretty obvious this shouldn't take long.
That's a clear and obvious goal. Ball's over the goal line. Lucy with a great strike as well. Hits it right underneath the crossbar and is able to clear the wall as well and hit it over top of the wall. Really nice strike with her laces as well.
Here's the decision. It is a goal, no doubt about it. Tyler Lucy, an absolute stunner. Portland goes down to 10 players, and North Carolina takes the lead.
Great finish by Lucy to take that opportunity and the calmness and the confidence to not only find the back of the net, but hit it over the 5-woman wall that Portland Thorns put in front of her. Watches Lucy, multiple numbers in front of her, hits it over top and places it perfectly by hitting the crossbar and going behind Bixby.
20 minutes in, a lot to take in during that last sequence. We thought it was going to be a penalty to North Carolina. Instead, it's a free kick, but during the VAR review, they actually give a red card to Kelly Hubley for a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. And all of a sudden, North Carolina has a 1-0 advantage here on the road.
It's NWSL After Dark between number 1 and number 2. Did we not think it would start this chaotic? Crazy, crazy, crazy. But now Portland has to make sure that the communication on the back line is even more shored up, with Klingenberg and Kuikka not going to be able to get as high as they typically want to in the attack.
And one note, during that long stoppage, it was considered the first hydration break in this game. So there is an option to still have another one in this first half because of the air quality here in Portland. We'll see what the officials decide here tonight. And it looks like Mike Norris is going to his bench, and unfortunately for Christine Sinclair, this is going to be a very short return to the NWSL. Take off her captain's armbands. It'll be Megan Nally coming onto the field.
Portland putting on Megan Nally, Sam Coffey getting the captain armband as well. And it's because Portland needs that continuity on the back line with 4 back there, and that's going to put a lot on Morgan Weaver. Hannah Bedford and Olivia Moultrie is going to have to continue to cover more ground centrally for Portland, doing the defensive work, but also looking to score.
That's always a very tough sub to make for the player coming off and for the coach to have to make it. When it's a center back, an important player like Kelly Hubley who gets sent off, need that center back on that back line, and unfortunately for Christine Sinclair, her night cut very short.
Watches Weaver and Bedford. They're going to play more as a double 9 instead of being able to play in the wide areas, because Portland's going to need more of a target, taking turns. It's going to cut off the opportunities that Weaver can go down the flank, but they're going to have to make sure they're getting there when they can.
Also the first red card of the season for the Portland Thorns, so some uncharted territory here for the Thorns at home.
North Carolina now has to see this moment where they can just set the tempo themselves, stay on the ball, pick and choose their moments to break through this back line.
The top, Ratcliffe. There's Bixby just to chip this away. Here's Berkeley. Ryan Williams. There that Sean Nahas says just has not gotten enough credit for her play this season. Has been stellar on the back line for the Courage. Here's Lucy for Williams again. Long cross, and it's out for a goal kick.
Good idea by Williams. The first time we see her in the attack because she has so much space that she has to cover with Weaver. Now that Weaver's more centrally, she's allowing her center backs to take that responsibility, and Williams is going to continue to go down the flank looking for crosses inside the box.
Of course, on the bench tonight, Sophia Smith, her 10 goals, 5 assists. Might Mike Norris be forced to maybe put her on a little bit earlier than maybe he would have liked. See how that all plays out now with Portland playing from behind and down a player. Remember, when it comes to regular season form for Portland, they have 2 straight losses in regular season play. They really don't lose a lot of regular season matches, especially in a row. They've lost consecutive matches just 11 times. And they have 3 straight losses 2 times ever, the last coming in 2015. Here's Narumi.
Great read by Narumi, seeing that connection starting to build between Moultrie and Bedford. Bedford looking for that central pass, and Narumi's right there to clean it up. O'Sullivan and Narumi playing in somewhat of a double pivot in the sets, but Narumi has more freedom to roam, get into the attack because of how much ground O'Sullivan can cover by herself.
Narumi settles things again. Over the top, it's Kuika. As far as Narumi. Now you talk about the possession that North Carolina likes to have, and now with Portland down a player, that's a lot more chasing to do for the Thorns tonight.
Portland are going to have to communicate and pick and choose their moments and when they want to chase, but also when they can create overloads on North Carolina. North Carolina now has the opportunity to pick apart this this Portland Thorns side. By picking and choosing their moments, they don't have to go direct as often as they typically want to. Instead, waiting for Weaver, draw Bedford out, and then they can break through the Portland's lines.
They're 2 of the best passing teams in the league. North Carolina leading in passing accuracy. Here's Ratcliffe. Can turn the corner on Kuika. Kuika shut it down. Ratcliffe trying to get away. Here's Bodie. Lucy on the far side. Drops it off for O'Sullivan. And now Williams. Patience here from North Carolina. Bodie trying to return it there on the back heel where it came from, and it's cleared out of play for a throw-in.
Rodriguez dropping off defensively to help Sam Coffey clear those balls out. Noticing that North Carolina is getting more numbers forward, and there needs to be more help centrally for Coffey to help screen those numbers in front of the back line.
Ratcliffe and Pickett. Here's Narumi.
Portland stepping their line really high. Lucy looking for that opportunity to go in behind with a direct ball from Kurtz. Portland has to make sure that they're not on their heels whenever the Courage backline has the ball, because they do have that option to be really direct and behind.
Ratcliffe down the line for Pickett. Pickett trying for the early ball, but this will deflect out for a corner.
Great run by Pickett out of the back line, looking for that opportunity to get across inside. This North Carolina left side looks very fluid with Ratcliffe dropping off, Narumi receiving the ball centrally and allowing that space to be Pickett's in behind.
Narumi, great server here on these corner kicks. Stands over another one. Driven ball in, this one onto the roof of the net. Had the attention there, Bella Bixby.
Narumi almost looking for a goal herself, but typically those in-swingers are so dangerous for this North Carolina side. Lucy really good in the air. Ratcliffe is very scrappy to get up in the air as well and contest those types of balls.
It's turned over again. O'Sullivan, Victoria Pickett. Berkeley. Ratcliffe just able to keep this in play. Looking for that floated ball over the top. The second ball's picked up by Tess Bodie. Swept out of play by Kuika.
North Carolina eventually looking for that ball in behind, and because Bodie's dropped off a little bit defensively, it leaves that option for her to continue to go. And the outside backs of the Thorns recognizing that space.
And this will be the second hydration break of this first half because of the air quality index here in Portland. We'll have 2 hydration breaks in each half. And team talk here for both of these teams as we show you how we got to this moment. This was the foul that led to what we thought was going to be a penalty, but then it was a free kick.
Kelly Hubley, the last defender, gets the red card with an awkward slide against Victoria Pickett. And Lucy, the way that she hits this ball, not only in the back of the net, but gets it over the wall so perfectly to hit it underneath the crossbar. Nothing Bixby could do to clean that one up. North Carolina to go up early on the road gives them confidence in a very hard environment for opponents to play in.
Mike Norris with the tactics board out. And of course, these are the top 2 teams in the NWSL. These are the live standings, and I don't think we've seen that much gap in between the first and the second team in quite some time, but right now, a big chance for North Carolina to provide some room at the top.
North Carolina, if they can get these 3 points on the road, that gives them 4-point gap between them and the Thorns. San Diego Wave sitting in that 6th spot just above the playoff line. 5 points, so in between that 2nd and 6th spot, it's very, very tight in that playoff push.
Right now, it's 1 point can separate you from being on the road in the first round or having to get a bye, so a lot in that. And of course, North Carolina returns to action on Sunday, August 27th as they face the Chicago Red Stars at 2 Eastern. For tickets, go to nccourage.com/tickets. It's not going to get any easier for the Chicago Red Stars after a really tough loss tonight at the hands of the Orlando Pride. Show you some of those highlights at halftime, so stick with us. Here's Klingenberg. Down the line for Morgan Weaver. Met there by Williams. That's been a good matchup so far tonight.
Williams keeping Weaver in the wide areas, just pushing her out there because now the Thorns recognize The opportunities are going to be in transition, trying to get Weaver on the ball. Williams has improved so much in her 1v1 defending. She started the regular season in a center back role. Nahas moved her in an outside back role, showing that she has the versatility not only to get up and back defensively, helping the attack, but her 1v1 defense against nearly anybody in the league is top notch. It's been really fun to watch her grow into that role in her past 2 seasons in the league.
Carolina able to work themselves out of a bit of pressure from Portland. Kiki Pickett is trying to connect with O'Sullivan. Referee points to the ball. Petfer looking to play that into the path of Weaver, but it was blocked down.
Sam Coffey always providing that spot in that outlet. Whenever somebody finds themselves in a traffic jam, in the right spot, in the right moments, even if it's defensive work, if it's offensive work, and that's what they need. This Portland Thorns needs from their 6 role, especially tonight, now that they're a woman down, is a 6 who can do both sides of the ball and keep that calm presence. I really like that Christine Sinclair gave Sam Coffey that leadership armband, that captain armband, well-deserved. She has been such a massive piece in the Challenge Cup games and every game this regular season for the Thorns.
Sam Coffey, during that Challenge Cup, she was the one that was wearing that captain's armband. It's been at the heart of that midfield all season long for this club. Here's Moultrie. Plays it ahead, tries to get it back. Moultrie, it deflects right in the path of Klingenberg. Cross deflecting towards the penalty spot. It's still loose, and finally Narumi sweeps it away.
Well done by Portland to keep this play alive for themselves, because they haven't had many chances with how well North Carolina has been possessing the ball out of defensive pressure. This right now is what the Thorns need. Being down a woman, opportunity to build, dribble into spots, but also making sure that their teammates are there to help if they dribble into spots that they can't get out of by themselves.
Minutes to go until halftime. Portland get themselves back into this game. It was a great start, but of course, since the red card, it's been tough sledding against this North Carolina side. And now a foul with Victoria Pickett going down.
Coffey with a bad pass into Pickett's lane, just trying to win this ball back. A little too much from the left leg of Coffey, fighting for that ball off of Pickett. Coffey typically doesn't give those balls away in the middle of the field. You see the frustration and the confusion almost on her face, wanting to win that ball back right away.
Deflected and out of play. It's a corner kick coming for North Carolina. Rumi striding over to take this.
Narumi now providing an outswinger ball into the 6. There's like Berkeley looking for opportunities on the end of this one, but also watch for O'Sullivan outside of the 18. She's known to hit some beautiful shots one time when balls drop out.
Narumi floats this one in. Lucy was there, and her header is taken by Bixby.
Great defensive step by Bixby. All she has to do is step to her right. Watch as this ball comes inside. Bixby even has a mark in front of her. Just has to get her hand over the head of Bodie.
Here's Kuikka. This has been a tough task for Portland since going down to 10 players. Not a whole lot going forward. Nally for Kuikka.
If a team is going to go down a person on the pitch, it's going to be this Portland Thorns team because they have a system and they have principles and they understand how they want to play in different pockets all over the field. Even though they go down a mark, they still have that collective thought, that collective goal that they're playing together, and it's always been that way for this Portland Thorns system. That can give them that confidence also at home against the North Carolina side.
Murphy's distribution off the mark. This is the earliest Portland has ever had a player sent off. But not terrible when they've been down a player. 2 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws.
Portland's looked really good right now once they've been without Hubley. They've been able to live on the ball a little bit, have looked for opportunities in and around the 18, and once they do lose the ball, they get into really good defensive structure. Watch as all 3 Portland's lines are well organized, well spaced out, and they're not opening up those pockets for O'Sullivan or Narumi to receive it centrally.
Pressure there from Bodie. Portland able to win it back. It's Nally. Distribution from Bixby. Tough one there for Rodriguez to handle. Trying to fend off Narumi. He gets the whistle from Matt Thompson.
Well done by Rodriguez, just holding Narumi at bay, winning that foul because there was no other option for Rodriguez to play out of. Narumi had no help behind her either. North Carolina's entire team just waited to see how Narumi would come out of that battle.
Moultrie over the top. Bedford. Bedford's in. Bedford scores. Down to 10, but Portland is back level and roaring it home.
A great run from Bedford in behind. Moultrie notices that it's a 2v2 situation, and before O'Sullivan could get over to that side of the field, Moultrie loses the ball. Watches this ball, just goes for it as quickly as it possibly can because Portland wants to find North Carolina on their heels. As soon as Moultrie receives that ball, Bedford knows that Berkeley is just keeping her eyes on the ball, so the space is behind the center back, who has nobody behind her. Bedford gets completely free, and just to hit it with her outside of her foot, finds side netting where Murphy can't get to the ball because she's covering near post. Class goal by Bedford.
A heck of a first touch there, and I think she's talking about it with Olivia Moultrie. Her 2nd goal of the season, and it gets Portland back level late in this first half. Bedford, who scored her first career brace against San Diego in the Challenge Cup back on July 21st, got her first goal in the regular season against Gotham.
Coach Norris spoke about Bedford before this match, saying the Challenge Cup was huge for her. She improved on her pressing, her linking, and getting balls into the final third, and it's paying off now for the Thorns.
Now looking for an immediate response. Bodie had it blocked down. Lucy to the back post. Ratcliffe was beating the ball by Kuikka. It's a corner kick.
Kuikka in great defensive shape. Feels the pressure of Ratcliffe behind her, knows she has to get her head on the ball there. Thorns able to take that immediate pressure from North Carolina, stay focused and disciplined and do what they can to keep the ball out of dangerous areas.
It's Narumi once again. Narumi, a driven ball in. Portland able to deal with it initially. Get out as far as O'Sullivan. Kurtz heads it forward. Finally, it's taken in by Bixby.
Tough one for Lucy to try and continue to head on because not enough power behind that ball. Bixby just easily able to step off her line. You can see Lucy trying to keep her team forward, wanting to keep this Portland side locked in their own defensive half.
Trying to battle there, was pulled down. It's a free kick. Join us on CBS September 9th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for the 2023 UKG NWSL Challenge Cup Final. The final matchup will be decided when Louisville takes on OL Reign and North Carolina faces Kansas City in the semifinals on September 6th.
Portland feeling that confidence and trying to create overload centrally on the back line of North Carolina. This is where it can get tricky, is they're leaving their back line in more vulnerable positions with the high press.
Ratcliffe deflects off to the far side, and Williams. Here's Williams again with a bit more time. Ball lofted in, looking for Bodie. Rodriguez got there first. Victoria Pickett. Narumi trying to keep it alive. Now Klingenberg to clear. Flicked forward, it's Lucy. Williams. We're into 7 minutes of Verizon stoppage time at the end of this first half. Long VAR review, and of course the 2 hydration breaks. Ratcliffe, hesitation, turns the corner. To put it in the path of Kiki Pickett, and it's cleared away.
North Carolina looking stretched once they receive the ball. Normally they want to find themselves in tight pockets, 1-2 touches out of defensive pressure. However, Ratcliffe was all by herself on the left side of the pitch. Nobody helping her with the drop-off ball behind, looking for the ball inside the box.
Berkeley, lofted ball out wide. Lucy. Ryan Williams. Switch of field. Ratcliffe trying to head it back centrally. It falls for Pickett. Back out for Ratcliffe. Another clearance. Ratcliffe yet again. Narumi.
Much better from North Carolina because they tried to press the ball inside the box. Portland's dropping so many numbers off that they have to be patient now, waiting for those seams to open up.
Ratcliffe trying to get in line. Has to turn it back this time. Long spell in this attacking third. Under 7 minutes of Verizon stoppage time.
Lucy wide open on the far side of the field. Watches her body is completely open. She wanted Narumi to turn her body and hit that ball, looking for a cross inside. That's where Lucy is best, is when she's isolated in the wide areas, looking to go forward for a shot by herself or trying to isolate a Bodie or a Ratcliffe going forward with her as well. Portland's been so good defensively and dropping back when need be that those are where the options are for North Carolina, is getting Portland out of position defensively on their heels.
Deflected forward, Ratcliffe. Back to back there with Kuikka, and it's cleared. Oh, and a quick ball in behind for Weaver. She's all alone. Moultrie now in support. Weaver did well to hold it up, now trying to switch the point of attack. Here's Klingenberg. Portland can reset. It's Coffey. Klingenberg just able to keep it for the Thorns. Quick ball over the top once again, looking for Weaver. Berkeley able to cut her off. A lot to dissect from this first half. Remember, it was Portland started off with a great early chance, forcing a save out of Casey Murphy from Morgan Weaver. And the red card, we thought it was a penalty, but it turned into a free kick that was scored anyway. And of course the response from the Thorns. And Betford, a very well taken goal.
Portland looking for their moments in transition with Rodriguez dropping off, hitting a one-time ball over the top to Weaver. Berkeley and Kurtz are recognizing that Portland wants to be direct, so they are starting to shore things up and staying a little bit more compact as two center backs. However, on the other end, North Carolina is doing the same exact thing to Portland, just waiting a few more minutes for that build-up.
Williams for Bodie. Alley steps over to clear it away. Join us in prime time on Saturday, November 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Ally NWSL 2023 Championship on CBS. If you want to attend the match at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, you can purchase your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Again, the NWSL 2023 Championship in prime time on CBS. We've seen these two teams in a final before. Could it be foreshadowing what we see on November 11th?
With the way both these sides are playing right now, there's a very high chance we see Portland and North Carolina Courage in a final against one another. Both identities are very clear as day, not only for the team and for viewers and fans, but the players understand how each team wants to play and within what system, what role each individual player has to play. It's been somewhat of a chess match between these two sides, even though Portland's down a woman, because they still have the core principles there.
Feel Portland be okay with going into halftime at 1-1 just based on how this half has turned out.
Portland wanting to keep possession here too, just trying to catch their breath, kill some of this time. North Carolina has found some momentum once they do win the ball. Right now, North Carolina has to take advantage of Portland being down a player, pressing high, trying to win the ball in the attacking third, higher percentage opportunities on frame. Credit to Portland and how they've been moving this ball side to side out of North Carolina's defensive pressure.
Matt Thompson blows his whistle and brings this first half to a close. Boy, NWSL After Dark in full effect here in Portland. 1-1. Portland down to 10 players. It's been all you can ask for between these two.
Possession has been mainly the Courage side. However, when Portland does win the ball, they pick and choose their moments, catch their breath, and they pick when they want to press really high against this North Carolina side. Credit to Portland getting a goal on the Courage, being down a player, and taking advantage of a transition moment.
And we are now joined by the goal scorer for the Portland Thorns, Hannah Betfort. Well, Hannah, thanks for joining us. Take us through that goal, the assist coming from Olivia Moultrie.
I mean, I think that's just a testament to our work right there. Kind of made something out of nothing. Olivia stuck with the play. She's been giving us really good pressure and helping me out a lot. So just felt like I had a little bit of magic in me just then.
Hannah, congratulations on the goal. Playing down a woman, how are you deciding when to press on this North Carolina back line, but also allowing them to keep the possession?
I mean, this is what we're made for. We work tirelessly all season. We're a high-press team, so we're built for this. But it's mostly just me and Morgan relying on that relationship and just picking and choosing our moments when we get them and committing to them fully.
Hannah, thanks so much. Good luck in the second half.
Yeah, thank you all.
As Hannah Betfort, tonight's goal scorer for the Thorns. It is halftime here from Portland. We have a good one. It's 1-1 as we'll be back with the Ally NWSL broadcast right after this on CBS Sports. Busy weekend in the NWSL. We start in Louisville, 1-1 between them and Angel City. This was Katie Johnson to open the scoring.
Katie Johnson adding depth to this Angel City side, stepping on the pitch and converting an opportunity. McCaskill sitting really high on this Angel City midfield and creating those opportunities for Angel City to get results. However, for Racing Louisville, getting DeMello involved and getting Kirsten Davis in the middle of the 18, able to convert and tie one at home. This Racing Louisville side slowly but surely coming back from their World Cup, getting players on the pitch together, being like a complete side.
The spirit and the dash, and look at that back heel, and Ashley Sanchez back and scoring.
Doesn't take much time for Sanchez to get on the score sheet. The way that she's able to pop out of the midfield, look for opportunities, and hit balls one time. However, on the Houston side, Sanchez getting into the attack for Houston, ending this one in a tie, just getting on a touch behind Sam Staub. Very difficult to do, a hard defender to win balls against. Houston able to get a point out of that one.
A couple of draws. There was a winner in San Diego. It was the Wave. It was Doniak who opened the scoring.
Doniak and Shaw have such a great connection in the attack. A great ball by Shaw to find Doniak sliding across the 18, and Doniak not even facing up towards goal, able to convert this one. San Diego getting Abby Dolkemper back in the starting 11 in the regular season, and it's Ali sliding one home with a great assist from Barcenas. Ali so good at dribbling out of back line and finding herself so free.
5-0 to the Orlando Pride. These were two of the goals from Messiah Bright. This one, well, really both of them good in their own right.
Raffaelli in the 11 as well for Orlando, looking like a complete side. They are growing so much into this team, and Messiah Bright, a massive piece of that in her rookie season. Some phenomenal goals to find herself all alone against the Chicago defense.
Great assist from Marsa. We'll be back with more halftime from here in Portland. It's the Ally NWSL match between Portland and North Carolina. First half highlights, Thorns and Courage. Boy, this one had a lot packed into it. We start in the 14th minute in this whole situation. That was a penalty, it was a free kick, but it was also a red card.
Hubley taking Pickett down just outside the 18 as the last defender. Lucy able to convert so well on that opportunity, hitting it over top of the wall, but also in the back of the net. North Carolina has been able to dominate the majority of the possession because Portland is down a player on the pitch, but Portland has found their opportunities in transition. It starts from the back line of Portland. Watch as Moultrie, she gets herself wide open down the touchline. North Carolina has to make sure that they cannot let a forward like Bedford free all by herself in and around the 18. A great touch into herself and an even better shot into side netting. Portland's finding their chances. A really good side technically. They're sound. They know exactly what they want to do with the ball, even if they are down a player. So North Carolina has to make sure now that Portland has the ball, they can be dangerous.
As we look at the stats, boy, it's been quite a lot for Portland, but it's been pretty even overall, I think it's safe to say.
68% of the possession really is to North Carolina, but it's been a back and forth side. Both opportunities in transition, looking for opportunities to go over the top is North Carolina and Portland.
We will return with the second half of the Ally NWSL broadcast here on CBS Sports. 1-1 at halftime. Getting set to start the second half from Providence Park here in Portland, Oregon. It's the Thorns and the Courage. This has been a great one so far, 1-1 as we get set to start the second half. And a substitution for North Carolina. We'll see the rookie Olivia Wingate come on to replace Tess Bodie. Just the one change for the Courage here at halftime. With Anna Whitty, I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. If you woke up early for the final this morning, hope you took a nap or maybe two, had a cup of coffee, ready for some NWSL After Dark as we settle in for this second half.
If you're anything like me, you drank 5 cups of coffee and took 2-hour-long naps.
Whatever gets the job done.
Yes.
Just waiting for Matt Thompson to send us on our way for half number 2. Great atmosphere, as it always is here at Providence Park in Portland. These fans ready for a great second half. The top 2 teams in the NWSL coming into play tonight. A win for North Carolina would put a 4-point cushion between them and all the teams at 25 points. Case O'Sullivan trying to find out what the issue is here for the slight delay. Looks like we are okay. And Matt Thompson, let's start this second 45 minutes. Remember, Portland down to 10 players. Kelly Hubley, her red card. Coming back in the 17th minute. And that sets us up for very intriguing second 45 minutes. We'll see what slight changes, tweaks were maybe made by the 2 managers tonight.
North Carolina subbing Wingate onto the pitch moves Ratcliffe more into a central role and Wingate into a wide role where she likes to go and get balls inside. Taking Bodie off the field just allows 3 forwards to be more direct, and that's how North Carolina is trying to link up in the attack.
Here's the goal scorer for Portland, Betford. And now Coffey. Here's Klingenberg. Long run for Weaver. She gets there, but couldn't keep it for the Thorns. A great matchup down this near side, Weaver and Williams, as this one's headed out of play.
Williams and Lucy have a great connection down this right side for North Carolina. Williams trying to skip over Lucy, and that being the second option underneath is Lucy in behind. However, the way that Williams can get forward allows Lucy to drop off and play defense when need be. That is a huge connection that North Carolina leans a lot on in games.
Here's Narumi. Locked down. It's Klingenberg. Stand this up to the back post. Nobody there in a black shirt.
Great idea for Klingenberg to get in the attack. That ball just has to be driven low inside the box. Portland didn't have many numbers there, but that's a huge piece that Portland can continue to build on. Weaver and Betford left alone at times in the attack for the Thorns, so getting Klingenberg involved in the attack just allows more numbers and more confidence going forward.
A very even first half in terms of shots. 5 for North Carolina, 4 for Portland. Both teams with 2 shots on target.
North Carolina entered the final third 31 times in the first half, had many opportunities. That last pass in and around the 18, that North Carolina found themselves just a little too flat against Portland's defense. And credit to how Portland drops off defensively, getting so many numbers back. The option for North Carolina is just outside the 18, being aware that there has to be a number there, trying to help convert.
The final third entries 31-19 to North Carolina, as you mentioned, but the touches in the opposition box just 13-10. So North Carolina is getting forward. They're not necessarily getting those looks in front of goal, though.
North Carolina, a team who loves to possess, and they want to possess until that final ball in the back of the net. However, it just hasn't connected. Credit to Portland and the numbers that are dropping off with Rodriguez, Coffey doing the defensive work a little bit more than they normally would if they had full 11 players on the pitch.
Move this out wide. Trying to turn the corner. Advantage being played. Portland able to deal with it. Wingate coming off that left wing. Ratcliffe flicks it along. Klingenberg there to clean it up, and Bixby gets it away. Here's Pickett. Shouldn't be a surprise that has been North Carolina on the ball here to start this second half. Williams, her cross, again cleared away. Long run from Wingate, who will keep this in play.
North Carolina getting Williams involved in the attack more in the second half, having Pickett sit off a little bit more for North Carolina, proving that ball that Williams put inside the box is why they want her forward. She normally can hit somebody on a dime.
Williams advancing. Williams sends the cross in. Bixby is there to hold on to it.
Great save by Bixby. Nobody's closing down that space. She just steps off her line to make sure that there's not an extra runner behind her who can get that ball inside. Watch as Williams receives this ball. She picks her head up. She notices that she wants to find Tyler Lucy. Instead, Lucy's dropping off and wants to receive that ball a little bit lower. Misconnection between the two sides.
North Carolina right about at their average this year in terms of possession, 59%. Miscommunication there in the middle. Pickett and O'Sullivan, nobody went to the ball. Rocky Rodriguez off her World Cup journey with Costa Rica.
Rodriguez able to slice herself out of decisions. She's not going to try and sprint out of tricky spots. Instead, she just wants to break up a defender by keeping the ball at her feet and making them chase.
Ratcliffe moves it ahead. Wingate drops it off for Narumi and just couldn't make the connection.
Misconnection for North Carolina has been a fairly consistent verbiage in the last few minutes. Uncharacteristic for North Carolina, being that final pass is what North Carolina just hasn't been able to complete throughout this game so far.
Another deflection as Portland looking for that penetrating ball. O'Sullivan. It's Wingate yet again. Wingate cuts it in. Slaloming run forward. This dropped off now. Victoria Pickett tries to lay this one off. Narumi gets to it this time. Runs all the way through for Kiki Pickett. Cross in front. Natalie dealt with it. And finally, Portland able to get it clear.
Much better from North Carolina. It's the simple passes that they were able to connect before they gained the confidence to take that risk inside the box. Just not able to convert because of how well Portland positions themselves inside the 6.
Again, moved out wide. North Carolina's really utilized these wings. And it's Williams. Williams going to get it by Menges this time. Headed out of play. Corner kick coming.
Second time in the row that North Carolina's pinging those balls inside the 6. Portland's getting on top of those balls every single time. So the space is in front of the 6 for North Carolina, looking for an option to score.
The 4th corner kick tonight for North Carolina. Narumi has stood over all of them. Play this one short. Narumi gets the return. Go with her left foot. Plenty of runners there. Betford running away with it now. Trying to get by Pickett. Good challenge put in by the Canadian. Here's Narumi. Ahead for Williams. Early ball blocked. Lost her footing. And couldn't regain possession, and Portland's running away with it. Weaver right at Kurtz. Weaver going in all alone, cuts it back. Weaver lays it off. Moultrie this time. Moultrie, shot on target. It's pretty straightforward there for Casey Murphy.
Weaver 1v1 is where she really shines. However, North Carolina able to track back so many players and follow Moultrie inside the 18. Credit to Moultrie and how she was able to get that shot off. Even it goes straight to Murphy. It's an opportunity. Portland can gain confidence in those transition moments. Now see how they can break North Carolina when they're tracking back with them as well.
Moultrie 2 home games against North Carolina, 2 assists. Back to last year as well, as O'Sullivan moves it out wide quickly. It's Wingate. Wingate cuts it back. Olivia Wingate, block shot to the end line now, dribbling in front. O'Sullivan collects, drops it off for Kiki Pickett. Pickett! Top of the crossbar. Had the attention of Bixby. This game not slowing down.
North Carolina with a beautiful buildup that is so characteristic in their style. Pickett just not able to get her chest over the ball at the very end as that ball drops to her. How North Carolina used their midfield and then used their attackers to find themselves inside the tack. Wingate not able to get the first cross inside, but watches North Carolina commit so many numbers, and they're patient. They're not just pinging balls inside. O'Sullivan feels that there's somebody behind her to help her because she doesn't have the look. Pickett just not able to get that one under the crossbar.
It looked like Ryan Williams, when she slipped a few moments ago, may have gotten her hand stepped on. That might have it wrapped up there. As there was also a stoppage as Ratcliffe is nursing some sort of knock, but looks like she's okay to continue on.
The buildup from North Carolina, rather, here's where Ryan Williams watches her left hand get stuck as Sam Coffey's trying to clear that ball.
Not sure she got stepped on, maybe just kicked.
Yeah.
Regardless, she'll carry on.
Hand in, you don't need your hands for soccer, right? Unless it's a throw-in. Even then.
Just the one sub so far for North Carolina, Olivia Wingate, that was made a big impact so far in this game, but so far this season, 16 games, all competitions as a substitute, 2 goals, 3 assists, 10 shots on goal. There's some players that just seem to have that knack of coming off the bench and providing a spark. That's been Olivia Wingate this year, whether it be here in the regular season or the Challenge Cup. Still looking for her first regular season goal, but does have 2 assists.
Wingate having one of her assists against Portland earlier this season. She brings a different look to this North Carolina side, not looking to possess, doesn't have the perfect touch on the ball, but once they do find Wingate's feet out of pressure, she is just looking to go and run at players. And against Portland's back line, who stayed really organized, Wingate gives that opportunity for her to just switch on a dime and take off.
Wingate couldn't keep it that time. Portland wins it back, and it's Coffey with her head up. Didn't see Lucy. Trying to flick this along. Wingate got to it first. Olivia Wingate's in. Wingate saved. Couldn't get quite the purchase on the shot she was hoping for. And Bixby with a big stop.
North Carolina using Wingate where she's best. Watch as Wingate receives this ball and takes the initial touch, chopping off her defender in that area. Wingate just not able to get that ball out underneath her body to get any power and put it where she wants it.
That's the balance that Portland has to have, especially down a player. You try to go forward, you need to get people back quickly.
For Portland tonight, with being down a player, it's about committee and making sure everybody's on the same page. Watches Coffey's talking to her center backs, making sure they're making the right decision out of this free kick. Does Coffey drop off wanting to receive the ball, or do they overlook the midfield because of how much the midfield has had to work for the Thorns, giving them a rep off?
Second ball picked up. Betford heads it forward. Weaver trying to take it on the volley. Williams will be a throw in North Carolina. These coaches know what is on the line here tonight. Though both pretty much with the same message that they just need to take it one game at a time. With how close everything is, if you start to look at the big picture, that can be really dangerous. But there's no doubt that Sean Nahas has talked about giving a lot of credit to these players for stepping up their play. Not a lot of people at North Carolina where they're at right now. Here's Betford for Moultrie. The return for Betford, poked away. Shot from distance, just wide. Had the attention of Casey Murphy, and it wasn't too far away.
Coffey receiving the ball outside the 18. It's a great buildup from Portland, and as that ball drops out, Coffey sees the pace and the speed that it's coming towards her. She tries to redirect that one so low. Just goes too far, a far post.
Substitution here for North Carolina. Second of the game, first substitution window. It's Pinto, Brianna Pinto for Victoria Pickett.
Portland trying to find Kuika out of this buildup, and watches on the far side of your screen, Coffey just comes into the picture last minute. Nobody's following her, but it's a great one-touch strike, keeping it low and on the ground.
And this will be the first hydration break of this second half. There will be potential of 2 in each half. We saw 2 in the first half. This is the first of the second because of the air quality here in Portland due to the wildfires in the Pacific Northwest. A chance for both teams to get some hydration.
These 2 hydration breaks really help Portland in this game because they're playing down a mark, and they're going to be able to come together, figure out what small details can they change, because North Carolina's had a few opportunities in transition. They're working with Wingate and Ratcliffe and Lucy, who aren't the technical forwards for this North Carolina side. They come with the speed, and making sure that they're continuing to communicate. This gives them an opportunity to do so.
Well, of course, this is the last game of the weekend, and already looking ahead to next weekend, a full slate and a big Sunday coming up as well with 4 games. What game sticks out to you?
Orlando Pride against San Diego Wave. Orlando has been so electric. 5 goals against Chicago. Messiah Bright with a brace. The opportunities that the Pride has been able to get and the attack is going to be very fun to watch against this very talented San Diego back line.
A lot of good action. Portland will head to Washington as the teams starting to head back out onto the field. Well, the Portland Thorns will return home against OL Reign on Saturday, September 16th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. For tickets, go to thornsfc.com/tickets. A few road matches upcoming here for the Thorns before they come back home for the Cascadia Clash. Sean Nahas' side, they will be heading home next week as well. That'll be a matchup against Chicago. Chicago will be limping into that one.
Chicago with a massive loss against Orlando. Not being able to score a goal, getting 5 goals scored on you. This is a little bit confidence, especially when you're about to play the first team in the league right now in North Carolina.
Quick whistle. Half hour to go. This game's still very much in the balance. Both teams with good opportunities. Portland has had a battle with 10 since the 17th minute. Bedford trying to work out of tight spaces, gets the whistle.
Few passes that North Carolina cannot connect in the midfield. Narumi trying to find O'Sullivan, penetrating out. A little bit of frustration from North Carolina because that tactic isn't working for them, trying to build out centrally. North Carolina, a side that's been able to get it done without their World Cup players. In 2 games in Challenge Cup back-to-back, they were able to score 11 goals. Caroline not in this match for North Carolina. That's okay for this Courage side. Radcliffe has stepped up massive. Lucy down the flank has provided opportunities for teammates. It used to be, how can North Carolina get the ball to Caroline? And now it's a team collective effort. Credit to how North Carolina has developed in the past handful games to make sure the attack has a lot of strong numbers together.
The outlet is Morgan Weaver. Kurtz there to cut it off. Weaver still running hard. Murphy just gets it away, maybe got clipped there. Referee will bring this back.
Lot of hustle from Weaver, trying to slow down that pass and just poach that ball off of Murphy as Kurtz passes the ball back. Watches Weaver, already knows that ball is going back, and the left leg of Weaver just clips Murphy as she's trying to play out of possession. Weaver letting Murphy know that she is there and that this Portland Thorns team is going to pick and choose their moments to press high. Weaver has all the speed, the athleticism, and the pace to continue to go.
Fair to say, a very willing runner is Morgan Weaver.
Weaver can run for days. She does the defensive work as well down the flank, really connecting more this season with her outside back and allowing that to be so helpful, connecting the lines for the Thorns.
Foul. I think Portland is starting to ready some substitutes. The substitution window used in the first half, with Sinclair coming off. Mike Norris maybe has to be a little bit more creative as this game goes on. Two subs coming, he'll only have one more window after.
Norris with a lot of depth on his bench, but also managing the players on the field and who he feels like needs a rest, but also who he feels like can give him a full 90 minutes. In the attack, Weaver and Bedford have looked very strong, picking and choosing their moments to go.
Klingenberg brings this in for Weaver. Gets back onto it, Menges. Klingenberg. Diagonal run there by Moultrie, ran right into the back of Kiki Pickett. Referee says play on. Shut down by Kuika. Strong defensive play. Moultrie's calling for it. Moultrie gets to it, but was just a bit too quick. Flag is up for offside. At least it was initially. Now it's brought down as play goes on. Weaver. This is onto the roof of the net. I believe the flag will come up now.
A great first touch from Bedford to keep that one alive for Portland.
And the substitutions. First one off is Hannah Bedford, and it will be the return for Sophia Smith. A couple of goals for her at her first World Cup. And now back here in the NWSL. And replacing tonight's goal scorer, Hannah Bedford.
The last time Sophia Smith was in the NWSL, she had a hat trick at home against the Washington Spirit. She brings so much to this Portland Thorns attack. And now playing next to Weaver without a true 9, it's going to give her much more freedom to be central and go to goal in the spot she loves to do so.
15 goal contributions in the regular season, 10 goals the year it has been so far for Sophia Smith. Only leads the Golden Boot race as well by 2 over Caroline and Ashley Hatch. This is moved out wide. It's Weaver back for Smith! Right onto the field! Welcome back to Portland, Sophia Smith! The Thorns lead! That is impact!
It took no time for that connection between Weaver and Smith to go. That ball into Weaver out wide, opens up that space for Smith on the far post. Watches Smith, picks up her head, knows she's not gonna beat two defenders, but she can beat one by opening herself up on that far post. A great touch by Weaver to beat her defender, not be selfish and want to score, instead find her teammate on that far post. Weaver with a great ball, keeping it on the ground that Smith can just tap home.
Substitution here. It will be Tyler Lucy coming off. It is Haley Hopkins entering. And now North Carolina, they are the team that has to come from behind. 2 unanswered goals for the Portland Thorns. And Providence Park is rocking yet again.
That would be an understatement, but the impact, like you said, Josh, what a great word to be used for how Sophia Smith comes onto the pitch.
Here's Weaver. They're looking for more. Weaver forces a save. Going back to that goal for Morgan Weaver, her 10th career NWSL assist.
Weaver showing that she doesn't just score. 4 goals this season, now 4 assists. She can do it all. She has developed so much into this Thorn system, learning from some of the best in this league and doing what she does best down the flank, using her strength, but also seeing how she can help her teammates use their strength as well.
Sophia Smith has now scored in her last 5 NWSL appearances.
Smith with such a good connection on this Portland Thorns team. She's so good by herself, and once she receives the ball, she's almost faster on the ball when she's off the ball, and dribbling out of backline, picking up her head and recognize she's not going to score in that moment, but she can facilitate an opportunity in the next play. A player who has developed such a long way in this Thorn system and has such a high ceiling.
It's pretty nice when you can bring a player like Sophia Smith off the bench.
Also, Portland is down a woman as well, so a lot of factors for the Portland Thorns, and the way they were able to do that at home was quite beautiful.
Thompson quick to jump in, make sure everybody's cordial. Now, what's the way back into this game for North Carolina?
North Carolina has to calm down and set the tempo themselves, start to possess a little bit better.
Here's Sophia Smith. Can she make it 2? Smith tries to slide it forward. It was just blocked off.
North Carolina was really strong using the outlet of Williams when she was getting into wide areas. They felt comfortable in those moments. They have to continue to do what has worked for them, which is just connecting, calming down, making Portland have to chase.
3 shots in this second half for North Carolina, 6 so far for Portland. Weaver, oh, almost in for Smith, but blocked off. How about Malia Berkeley?
Rose City making this a very hard environment for North Carolina to communicate in. So North Carolina is going to have to make sure that their movement is in sync with one another. Not going to be able to communicate maybe the way that they typically like to. And connection is the biggest thing for this North Carolina side. Portland's high press and their opportunities and their outlets, keeping an eye on Sophia Smith, is going to make it difficult for North Carolina just to continue to connect.
Kuika for Sophia Smith. Smith looks to cut this in. Bit of a heavy touch, and O'Sullivan takes it off her. Ratcliffe trying to turn the corner, and it's out of play. Ally is proud to support this presentation of the National Women's Soccer League. Ally, do it right. Every time Sophia Smith gets on the ball, it's the crowd. There's a little bit more of a buzz here at Providence Park.
Smith is a massive goal scorer in this league for this Thorns side, and not only does the Thorns get excited, but this North Carolina side puts multiple numbers on her, opening up the pockets for other numbers around Smith, like Weaver, or even like Rodriguez trying to get in behind.
Williams for Narumi. Just couldn't get on the end of it. This will run out of play. I believe we will be taking our second hydration break here. Of course, because of the air quality here in Portland due to the wildfires, 2 hydration breaks in both halves. And another team talk for both of these sides. But if you're just joining us, first off, where have you been? You've missed quite a lot. This has been a fun one to close out the weekend. The top 2 teams in the NWSL. How did we get to this point here? We start things off with the free kick, the red card, and North Carolina getting on the board first.
Hubley exiting the field with a red card, and it's Tyler Lucy with the composure over top of the wall of the Portland Thorns. But that wasn't it for the Thorns. They continued to go, and it was Bedford in behind, recognizing where North Carolina weren't staying composed and together in their 2 center backs. Portland picking and choosing their moments in the attack. North Carolina just cannot stay on top of the ball, and possession has been really difficult for them. Smith picking that apart and being the punisher at the very end, just as soon as she steps on the pitch.
A little bit more spirited here now from Sean Nahas, trying to get his team back level in this game and see where we can go from there. Obviously, the next goal in this game going to be absolutely crucial.
Portland now has had the opportunities and moments just to be a little bit more patient. And now that they have Smith on the field, who's given them so much confidence, scoring that goal, creating that chance for herself and Weaver in the attack, this is where Portland just has to be smart on the ball and making sure that they're connecting passes, making smart tackles. The same could be said for North Carolina. Giving away a really dangerous pass into the middle of the field is what created the Smith goal.
Don't forget, you can join us in prime time on Saturday, November 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Ally NWSL 2023 Championship on CBS. If you want to attend the match at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, you can purchase tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Again, the NWSL 2023 Championship in prime time on CBS. Here's Pinto to connect with Wingate. Won't get there. In front of Menges. Menges, who becomes just the 4th player in NWSL history to make 150 starts for the same club. Great milestone tonight for Emily Menges.
Menges, a great opportunity for her in that center back role without Sauerbrunn. She's been part of this club for such a long time. She understands.
Bicycle kick attempt. It's Ratcliffe. Trying to get the cross away. Nally heads it away. Corner kick coming for North Carolina. How about that for a stat when leading going into the final 15 minutes? Unblemished record for the Portland Thorns. Can they do it down a player? Narumi delivers. Some traffic there in front of Bixby. The Mutombo finger there.
Bixby's not messing around. Pretty easy grab for her over the head of a North Carolina player. Rumi hasn't given them some dangerous corner kicks for them to try and convert on.
Weaver. Weaver, great move to cut it back in field. Klingenberg.
Klingenberg being so patient. Portland's up a goal, doesn't need to throw something inside the box that could convert into an opportunity for North Carolina in transition. Instead, just swinging it back around, being smart, getting back into defensive shape.
First red card that Portland has picked up this season. Kelly Hovley in the 17th minute. Down the line for Wingate. Options in the middle. Wingate cuts it back. Pinto taking off the ball as Hopkins slipped. O'Sullivan finds Narumi. Kiki Pickett, a cross out in front. Nally heads it away. Pickett used their body well to keep possession for the Courage. Wingate, Williams in support. Here's Ryan Williams rolling this in, blocked down and cleared. North Carolina quick to get back on the ball once they lose it. Wingate, O'Sullivan, the captain. Stoppage here. Some blood. Rumi have to get that checked out here. It'll be a drop ball to put it back in play with 10 minutes to go.
It was a great build-up for North Carolina as well, quickly winning the ball and then finally finding a few seconds to possess the ball just outside the 18. Lucky for Narumi, just an easy, quick fix, doesn't have to stay off the pitch for too long.
Right back onto the field.
The connection between Pinto, Sullivan, and Narumi is slowly but surely getting there, and the three of them have been really stretched centrally for North Carolina.
Wingate off to chase it in the corner. Wingate, cross headed away. Going to ground, deflecting into the box. Nally gets it away. Klingenberg now as far as Ryan Williams, back for North Carolina. Cross into the middle, Bixby, big collision. It was with her own player, but this will be whistled dead. Bixby is down, so is Menges.
Bixby stepping up, trying to win the ball. It's Menges and Hopkins going up for the ball inside the 18. Two players just collide. A great ball inside from Williams in the wide area. Bixby just getting stretched out by a teammate.
Bixby back on her feet. Substitutions coming for both sides. First one will be for North Carolina. Frankie Taliaferri will come on to replace the captain, Denise O'Sullivan. And Kaylee Kurtz to wear that captain's armband as Taliaferri enters. Portland was going to make two subs. They'll wait just a few minutes longer.
Narumi will drop more into a true 6 role without O'Sullivan on the pitch, allowing Taliaferri to be a 10 and be able to help penetrate the attack for North Carolina. Some beautiful goals in Challenge Cup for Taliaferri. She can cover ground, she's strong on the ball, and brings fresh legs in these final few minutes.
Waiting on Izzy D'Aquila, Raina Reyes. Here's Morgan Weaver. Carolina just able to get this away. Almost looked like a carbon copy of the second Portland goal tonight.
Two North Carolina players fighting for the ball. It's a piece of communication that has to be fixed going forward.
Oh, there's Sophia Smith. Can she put this away? Smith turning it back, laying it off. Shot from distance and wide. Again, sending Murphy trying to chase after it. Morgan Weaver. That is the last action for her tonight. Izzy DeQuilla will come on to replace her. Reina Reyes will be the other one coming on.
Weaver, a great game, has had multiple opportunities playing down a woman. They pressed high when they could. They read the game well. And what a great ball into Sophia Smith to get the Thorns up by 1.
It'll be Kuika as the other substitution. Well, the first-year player out of Santa Clara, second-team All-American. Reina Reyes, 5th pick in the most recent draft out of Alabama.
Coach Norris spoke about the opportunities to start Reyes, Kuika, Klingenberg. He said he has a really hard decision on his hands in the best way because Reyes brings such a good look. She's good in 1v1 defensive moments for the Thorns, but she can also get forward. Closing out this game, she can really run down anybody on this Courage attack.
Flicked along, Smith to Quilla for Smith again. Sophia Smith weaving. Look at how many white shirts just converge on number 9 in black. Here's Williams. Looking for that early ball in behind. It runs all the way through for Bixby.
That was a great ball by Williams. If Taliaferri noticed that that ball was going in behind, instead Taliaferri was making her run a little too close to side field. Just that miscommunication has been the biggest story for North Carolina, whether it's in passes and balls in behind. Haven't been able to get on the same page too often tonight.
Here's Kurtz and Berkeley. Cross coming in. Not a whole lot of white shirts to pick out. DeQuilla looking for the outlet ball. Kurtz will track this down again for the Courage. It's Coffey who collects. Porter behind DeQuilla. Moultrie trying to get onto it. And here's Malia Berkeley leading the charge here for North Carolina. Moving this out wide. Ratcliffe, early ball in front, spilled, but Bixby just getting enough on that to push it out of the way.
Great build by North Carolina. Berkeley sees that the space is open in the middle of the field because Porter and Coffey had evacuated it. So she continued to go and went to Ratcliffe because Portland didn't have any numbers on the left side of the field. So unlucky, but a great stop by Bixby just to get a touch to slow down the Courage.
Narumi. Again, Ratcliffe. Charging in on Reyes. Reyes, how about that? That is a big-time defensive play off the bench. Back to that last Courage opportunity.
Berkeley in the middle of the field sees that Ratcliffe is all by herself, and Bixby just gets her left hand on this ball. Hopkins, Wingate both closing down the space. There was a number just holding that line. They would have been open for a one-touch hit on frame.
Long ball over the top. It's Sophia Smith. D'Aquila through the middle. Smith will chase it down. Kurtz takes it off of Smith. Courage can't keep it. The team has scored 3 goals in the last 3 meetings between these two, including 2 3-3 draws, which was also the last match here in Portland back August 5th of last year. Now it's a foul in the corner.
Portland now using this opportunity just to kill some time. North Carolina just hasn't figured out that piece. Building out of the back, connecting out of the back. There's been so many moments in this game where the obvious pass was there for the Courage. It just wasn't made.
Moultrie still in the corner. 8 minutes of Verizon stoppage time to close this one out. We're not done yet from Portland. Pickett has to let this run out of play. Couldn't get onto it. Portland has had to play since the 17th minute, down a player. It's been an admirable effort. Give Mike Norris some credit as well for the impact subs he has had to make. Nally came on almost immediately for Sinclair. Always tough to sacrifice an attacking player for a defender in that situation. And of course, Sophia Smith has made the biggest impact of this game, coming off the bench and scoring.
Smith coming on the pitch for Bedford, who had her second start this season and massive impact with the first goal for Portland, giving players an opportunity who had really strong Challenge Cups to impact these games in the NWSL, showing that Norris is continuing to develop the depth on this Portland side, using Challenge Cup games and just games throughout the regular season to get minutes to Bedford and players like D'Aquila.
Lofted forward. D'Aquila chasing after it. Kurtz went to ground, expertly gets it away.
Portland's taking away that next option for Williams. For Williams, she's looking for a pass out. Can Wingate drop off and receive the ball, and can they play it back 1 or 2 touches and then get out of defensive pressure? Portland hasn't allowed much of that from this Courage side tonight.
Slip this through, it's cleared away.
North Carolina only has a few minutes left in this match, and they need to use that sense of urgency to get back in this game. They're not going to get it from the crowd, so they have to use it from themselves.
Long throw, it's flicked along, comes out for Narumi. Bouncing in, Bixby flying in.
North Carolina looking for Hopkins in behind. Ball's just too far in front of Hopkins, not able to get there.
Bixby puts it straight out of play. Headed along. It's easy for Bixby. Use every second allotted to her. The big advantage that Portland has in the standings this year is their goal difference. Right now, As things stand, it's at plus 14. Some big wins early on in the season has helped that. Just thinking of that come the end of the season and some tiebreakers.
Portland Thorns now with 36 goals this season and can score it from a variety of ways. 7 goals from outside of the 18 shows that they can get it done really anywhere. And inside the 18 is where they look to convert with, rather that's crosses in from Weaver. Smith dribbling into the area is another big piece that teams and opponents really struggle to close down.
Moultrie going to ground. D'Aquila to hold this in the corner.
For Portland, now that they have Sinclair back in the system, Sophia Smith back in the system, looking to get that back-to-back championship win for this Portland side, they have an attack with 6 games left that they can continue to build on. Continuity that's already there, but now they want to make big impacts, and that connection between Weaver and Smith is something that will only continue to grow.
Portland just trying to salt this away. Ferry lofting it forward. Reyes getting her head to it first. Smith able to keep that in play. Narumi. Could be that late game changer here for North Carolina. Haven't been too many attacking set pieces aside from the goal, of course, earlier on. Of course, that's the only goal that North Carolina scored tonight. Nothing through the run of play. Here's Williams. Deflecting towards goal. Bit awkward there for a moment, but Bixby holds on to it. 100 seconds to go.
Only 3 shots on target from North Carolina tonight. The big opportunities were down the flank to Williams. As soon as Portland figured that out, those opportunities started to dwindle. And North Carolina has to find a way to allow Pickett to get more involved and get crosses inside the box that can be just as dangerous as Williams. If the middle of the field is where North Carolina can't dominate, Williams and Pickett are both going to have to be numbers that can get opportunities for North Carolina in the attack.
Long throw from Kurtz. Portland hoping to become the first team ever to have a first half red card and win a game. It has never happened in the NWSL. They are less than a minute away from making that the first team to ever do it.
Portland showing confidence, and this will give them a lot of confidence going forward. They'll be sitting at the top of the table, but also proving to themselves that the majority of the game they can get it done down a player if they just stick to the game plan and stay together. A big thing that worked in Portland's favor too is that they were at home and their crowd brings so much energy even if they have equal numbers on the pitch.
Here's Williams. Last gasp here for North Carolina. Wingate. Towards the top of the area, it's Smith who gets it away. And there is a player down here for Portland. This looks like it's Sam Coffey.
Coffey going into some contact earlier with Pinto in the middle of the pitch. Trainers just attending to that right leg. Grimacing in a little bit of pain initially, but looking okay as she sits up. Watches Coffey goes up and she grabs that right leg. That wasn't the leg that initially hit the ground. Coffey, such a pivotal piece for Portland going forward. She controls so much centrally, and Helps in the build-up, helps out defensively. It'd be hard to replace her role in that position for this Thorn side.
Might just be cramps here. Getting some electrolytes, trying to get back to it. She'll have to come off the field.
Is she more pain from her leg or from what she's
I'm not
had to
sure.
eat of that packet?
It didn't look like that was a hot shot, though.
No, it didn't. Still didn't look too tasty.
The itching to get back on. Here's Kurtz. Some pressure from Portland as they win it back. Smith chases it down. Coffey comes back on. And that is it. Sophia Smith is back, scores the game winner, and the Portland Thorns down to 10, win it 2-1.
Sophia Smith making an instant impact with her connection with Weaver out wide, and Portland able to keep North Carolina at bay, really breaking up their possession throughout this game, not allowing North Carolina to build up and create anything dangerous inside the box. And that's a testament to what they've done on the defensive side of the ball, but also how quickly they can get into the attack.
Celebration is on in Portland. It's time for our play of the match, brought to you by Ally. What else could it be? But of course, Sophia Smith bagging the game winner.
Bad connection pass from North Carolina. Smith reads it so well. The fact that Weaver keeps this ball on the ground, Megs Kurtz keeping that ball inside the 6, and for Smith to find herself so free on that back post. Smith doesn't get selfish and try and take that shot. Instead, she connects with her teammate to put Portland up.
A win tonight at home. We'll be back to wrap it up and take a look at highlight stats and catch you up on all the scores from the weekend right here on CBS Sports.